Now at 6, a weather watch alert. Temperatures about to tumble.
And the wind chills will be brutally cold. Check out some of these numbers. We're going to talk about how long they last coming up.
Tonight, efforts across the state to keep everyone warm.
Caring for the community, that's the mission One Hartford Church is sticking to. What they're offering outside of their church for the next couple of days to keep everyone warm.
Warming centers opening their doors for residents in need.
We have staff available 24/7 to answer calls.
We have team coverage, the resources you need to stay safe during the frigid freeze, headed our way.
Fox 61 News at 6 starts now.
A weather watch alert now at 6. Temperatures expected to take a nosedive in just a matter of hours. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. Communities all across the state gearing up for the extreme cold tonight. We have live team coverage from the resources that you can access to stay warm to the latest check on the forecast. And for that, we begin with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank. Hi, Rach.
Hi, we've been talking about this for about a week now, but it is almost here. Sub-zero wind chills starting tomorrow afternoon, continuing through around noon on Saturday. But the worst of the cold will be Friday night into Saturday morning, just around daybreak. Temperatures will drop below zero during that time frame. And when you factor in the wind, it could feel as low as 15 to 30 degrees below zero. That's about as cold as wind chills get for us around here in Connecticut. Limiting exposed skin. If you do have to go outside, bring pets inside, and checking on friends to make sure they have access to heat as well. So the National Weather Service is posting these wind chill alerts. There's a wind chill warning in effect for the darker blue color, wind chill advisory in effect for Fairfield, New Haven County, and the immediate shoreline. The bottom line is that when you have wind chills like this early Saturday, frostbite can actually occur in 15 to 30 minutes. So they're just telling people to use common sense. You know how to deal with the cold, and making sure that you're limiting that time outside. Satellite and radar is quiet for now, but if you look to the northwest, there actually is a cold front that's heading this way. That could bring us an isolated snow shower overnight, following which the cold air will start spilling in. 34 in Hartford, 33 right now in Meriden, and right around the 40-degree mark for the New Haven area. No problems out there tonight. Again, overnight, there is a slight chance for a snow shower. We're going to start tomorrow morning in the 20s. That is the high temperature for the day. It is all downhill from there. We'll explain your full forecast. We'll get you through this cold snap coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, even though the Arctic blast that we're about to see will be brief, it's certainly dangerously cold enough to take precautions for yourself and for your pets.
Fox 61's Carmen Chow joins us live in Hartford with some important tips on how to manage the bitter cold temperatures over the next 2 days. Hey, Carmen.
Well, hey there, Ben and Jen. My photographer and I just checked our phones, just curious to see what the temperature is outside right now. And our phone said it was 36 degrees, but it feels like 30 degrees. So just think of that. It's already cold enough as it is, and it's supposed to be even much colder over the next 2 days. But if you know anyone who is in need of any warm clothing, this church next to the Bushnell Theater is actually handing out all these scarves and face masks, all for free. For several years, the First Presbyterian Church of Hartford on Capitol Avenue has been known for their generosity. Brand new scarves, gloves, face masks, and hats currently hang on the iron gate, free to anyone who is in need. Diane Ney, a longtime church member, thinks by this weekend they will be all gone.
We do have one member of our church who loves to do knitting. She's always working on a project, so she's contributed a number of them, or they're purchased.
Temperatures are expected to take a tumble starting on Friday, with the coldest being Saturday morning. Dr. Chris Carey with Hartford Hospital telling Fox 61 he sees patients come in with frostbite or hypothermia all the time during the winter months.
The illness can kind of span the spectrum all the way up to having to be hospitalized and rewarmed medically.
So if you have to be out in the bitter cold, he says your best bet is this.
You need to wear multiple layers of loose-fitting clothing that kind of allows the heat to be trapped around your skin, covering up all exposed body parts.
While we are talking about keeping us warm, we cannot forget about our four-legged friends who are just as sensitive to the cold. East Hartford Animal Control Officer Jillian Capabianca stressing it is just as bad as leaving a dog in a cold car versus a hot car in the summer.
If the car is off and there's no engine running, it's going to get just as cold as it would just as hot in the summer.
Understanding your breed, she says, is also important. Some breeds like Huskies can handle the cold better compared to dogs like a Chihuahua or a Pit Bull who have less hair.
Our new laws make it against the law for an animal to be outside for longer than 15 minutes.
And another friendly reminder, be sure to check on your friends, family, and neighbors, and anyone who needs a shelter can call 211. I'm live in Hartford. Carmen Chow, Fox 61 News.
Thank you, Carmen. With the dangerously cold conditions and high wind gusts, Ski Sundown is closing early tomorrow at 4 p.m. Ski Sundown says all tickets, lessons, and rental purchases made this time period will be refunded. They plan on reopening at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. And for the latest conditions in your area, download the Fox 61 News app. There you'll find resources to stay warm and have the latest forecast as well.
We are following breaking news tonight out of Hartford. Police say they're investigating an underground electrical fire near Laurel Street and Farmington Avenue.
That area blocked off to traffic. Fox 61 Samaya Hernandez joining us live on the scene with more. Samaya.
An electrical fire and a water main break. So crews here are dealing with both of those. Now, which one caused which is unclear at this time. I think they're still working to figure that out, but you can take a look. This is happening here on Farmington Avenue and Laurel Street. Farmington Avenue still impacted. So if this is a way that you commute into West Hartford, if you're leaving work in Hartford, you definitely want to look for an alternative route right now. Now, this initially came in as a reported explosion. I want to show you some cell phone footage that we got in from witnesses. We see smoke coming from a manhole, and that's what when crews arrived here, there were fire coming from underground. Flames, they said, several feet high that firefighters had to contend with. So they first had to isolate this area. Now, everyone is safe. We do want to point that out, that no one has been harmed in this. And we also want to clarify that as of yet, there have not been any evacuations. That may change throughout the course of the night, but they were able to contain that fire. So the good news, crews did get that fire under control. But this is now an electrical issue. Eversource is here on scene. The water company, MDC, also on scene because, again, there was a water main break. Here's the deputy fire chief explaining what could possibly have caused this.
Did the water main break infiltrate the electrical service and cause a short, or was there a malfunction on the electrical side that created a buildup of some sort that caused the minor explosion, I guess you could call it? And did that cause the water main break? That's something the utility companies will investigate as they make the repairs.
They have had to shut off power to a few buildings in this area, including the Dunkin' Donuts that's just on the corner there. You wouldn't be able to access that right now anyway. But again, here on Farmington Avenue and Laurel Street, crews, utility crews, police, firefighters still out here working to figure out what initially caused what came in as an underground explosion. But again, we're dealing with a water main break and that underground fire that has been contained. That's the latest here in Hartford. I'll send it back to you in the studio. Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61 News.
All right, Samaya, keep us updated and thank you. Well, so far this year, at least 6 people have died from pedestrian fatalities in Connecticut. 2 of those people were hit and killed in New Haven. One of those tragedies happening just yesterday on Sherman Parkway. That's where we find Fox 61's New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc joining us live now. Julia.
Hi, Jen. Good evening to you. In our last hour, we introduced you to a woman who lives here on Sherman Parkway. She tells us that she's so tired of seeing people crash and even die right in front of her home. Now, we're learning that the city has big plans to fix the problem with this road specifically and other plans just like it throughout the city.
That'll narrow the roadway.
Giovanni Zinn says Sherman Parkway has been on their radar for years. And after 17-year-old Cameron Gale died in a single-car crash here in 2021, they knew something needed to be done.
Every instance of death and injury on a roadway is a tragedy. You know, it's heartbreaking, and it's something that keeps us up at night.
Another person was killed here this Wednesday at 3 a.m. Police say a pedestrian was hit and killed by a car near the corner of West Division Street. The The driver left the scene and police are still looking for them. Neighbors are tired.
Something has to be done here.
And something is a $2.6 million project. On top of narrowing the road, they'll make it safer for bikers and walkers, create raised intersections and add crosswalks and flashing lights.
These things are preventable, and it's something that we've faced a lot of challenges in the city because people drive dangerously.
Mayor Elliker is also pushing on the state level to install red light cameras throughout New Haven.
The state does not allow cities to install red light cameras, automated traffic enforcement. Advocates and I have been pushing for years for the state to just let us use this technology.
Advocates across Connecticut are calling on the legislature to make it happen, but cameras alone won't solve the problem.
We've got to have personal responsibility too. People have to stop looking at their phones, stop speeding. It's just not important enough. You're going to kill someone.
Now back out here live, as for the plans to fix this roadway, Sherman Parkway, Zinn tells us they plan to submit those plans to the Department of Transportation by the spring, and then they hope to start working on it as soon as possible. We're live in New Haven. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61 News.
All right, Julia, thank you. A pedestrian was also killed in a hit and run in Meriden. Officials telling us a 58-year-old man was hit late last night on Lewis Avenue. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police believe a white SUV hit the man, pulled over, and the driver got out of the car to look around, then got back in the car and left the scene. The victim has not been identified at this time. Anyone with information should call police.
New Haven police are searching for a suspect in an armed carjacking. Police say that a man had fallen asleep in his car on Sherman Avenue last night while waiting for his girlfriend. He told officers that he woke up to a man with a gun, wearing a face covering and demanding his car. Police say he got out of his car. Two other men with guns also showed up. The suspects then took the car along with the victim's wallet and the victim's phone.
A second person has been arrested in connection to a hotel burglary involving a hairless cat named Princess. Police charged 24-year-old Tony Douglas Alves in connection to the burglary last month at the Hilton Garden Inn in Shelton. 20-year-old Zaire Lopez was also previously charged. Police have recovered several items taken during the burglary, but they're still searching for Princess.